the Simone Augustus and the Sylvia Fowles and the Candace Parkers. Those were the SEC days where everybody was battling game in and game out. So we've always been a pretty strong conference, but now you have teams that were never in the top really making it to the top, like the Mississippi State and the South Carolinas. All these teams are really coming up, and it's really great. And I knew it was only going to be a matter of time.
Okay, that's dope.
John did a great job with South Carolina. She's a legendary person and a legendary coach, and she's really turned that program around for the better. And I think she's just gonna take this and run with it, because I don't see too many people stopping her and her fiery spirit. She's such a fiery person, and she can pump anybody up. So I see her doing really well there. And just playing in the SEC, you take pride in that, just knowing who came before you, and you want to set the tone for those who come after you. So I'm really happy to see SEC at the top again.
Yeah, and I am too, especially in the men's. You look at South Carolina making it to the Final Four. They were my team to make it to play in the finals. I was loving and hoping to see a North Carolina versus South Carolina. That didn't end up happening, but I think that just shows how tough the SEC is. So that was definitely a great season to watch on the men's and the women's side.
Right, definitely. For sure.
All right, so whenever I have my sports guests on the show, I always ask them, what do you do in the pregame? Are you listening to music? Do you have any rituals or anything you do that the listeners would love to hear about?
Before every game, I do like to listen to my music. I can't really listen to anything slow. It kind of puts me to sleep, so everything's kind of an upbeat. Gotta have like a nice beat to it. Yeah, some good headbanging stuff. But I also I pray before every game. That kind of calms my soul, gets me ready for the game, and I just ask God for protection to watch over both teams and keep us safe from injury, because you never want to see that. So that's basically my pregame rituals right there. Oh, and I like to drink a Spark. It's Advocare Spark. It's pretty good. But
cool. And
that's really the only things I do for the game.
That's cool. That's cool. And we're talking with Theresa Plaisance. She is a player of the Dallas Wings. Also, she's returning from Italy and getting ready for the Dallas Wings season. One of the big stars on the team, Skylar Diggins. I know she's a perennial all-star coming from Notre Dame, and she was also in the transition from the Tulsa Shock to the Dallas Wings. But what is it like playing with her and some of the other players on the team?
Well, playing with Skylar, at first I was kind of starstruck just playing with her and like being in the same gym as her every single day. I was kind of in shock that I was able to do that. But getting to know her as a person, she's one of the nicest people I've ever met in my entire life. She's more than willing to help a friend out in anything, really. She's spent a lot of time with me before and after practice, especially when I was a rookie in my second year, just working with me, passing me the ball in the post, coming off of ball screens for me so I could pick and pop or pick and roll. And she's put a lot of time into the young players. And I know Skylar's one of the hardest workers on our team, and that goes to show what her success doesn't just come to her. She works really hard for it. So she's a real testament to hard work. And we have a really fun team. Everybody's really light. Everyone's really jokey. Ariel Powers, she has a lot of energy. Courtney Paris, she's hilarious. She has a lot of one-liners that just get you rolling. Erin Phillips, her accent's hilarious. But we all get along pretty well, and we all have a really good time on and off the basketball court. We have a lot of new faces this year, so they'll have to get used to our light spirit and our fun atmosphere. But it's not too hard to get used to that.
Yeah. If you got a fun locker room, to me, that just makes like all the world of the difference, and you're light and you're having fun, and it's not as stressful. And I think that's going to be big, and I'm definitely looking forward to to the Dallas Wings season this year. So, going into the season, I know there's a couple events coming up. I think there's one actually coming up this weekend, but is there going to be, anything going on upcoming the next upcoming weeks that maybe some of the fans will be able to meet the Dallas Wings players?
I'm not sure what we have coming up. Actually, I do think there is something coming up with the next week. We have our a week or two. No, in the next week, yeah. We have our mascot reveal. They're giving us a mascot this year, so we're gonna see what that looks like. So that's pretty exciting because we haven't had a mascot in Dallas yet. So I know I'm really looking forward to that. I really enjoyed the mascot in Tulsa. So having one in Dallas is one of my favorite things, I must say.
Cool. All right, so you being from New Orleans, I had to ask you what other teams do you follow? Do you follow the Saints? Is that a team that you're riding hard with?
Yeah, I'm a really big Saints fan. I'm part of the Who Dat Nation for sure. I really love Drew Brees and Sean Payton, and all the players really. But those two are my guys. They've been with the team for the longest. We won the Super Bowl with those two, so we have a lot of good guys on the team. I feel like they're the good boys of the league. But yeah, I'm a Saints fan, and I really try to pull for the Pelicans, but sometimes it's hard. But I still have faith in them. I think they're going to turn it around with the addition of oh my gosh, I forgot his name.
Oh,
but anyway,
yeah,
but yeah, I feel like we're going to do really well in these upcoming years, and I'm a New Orleans fan for sure. Anything New Orleans, I'm a fan of.
Cool. Well, I appreciate you so much for coming on the show, taking time out of your busy day, busy schedule. You're in Italy right now, and it's probably well beyond past the time I would probably be asleep. So I appreciate you again so much. Everybody, make sure you go follow Theresa on Twitter, and that's at TPLAI 55 on Twitter. Once again, Theresa Plaisance of the Dallas Wings. Hopefully you ladies will have a great season this year. Be coming out to some of the games, so I appreciate you so much.
Yeah, for sure. Please do come and support. It's a real fun atmosphere, and we're gonna show you all a good time and give you all some wins in Dallas. So we're really looking forward to playing this year. And thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. I love to get you on again, maybe kind of midway through the season. You guys are right there in the thick of things. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, for sure. We can arrange for that to happen, definitely.
All right. We take care.
Thank you, Ben. Talk to you later.
All right. Bye.
All right, bye.
All right, that was Theresa Plaisance or Plaisance. She is, like I said, like she said, Dallas Wings player. Dallas Wings, they transferred from Tulsa. So it was a Tulsa Shock. Now it's the Dallas Wings. And man, it was great to get her on the show. Hopefully I can get some other Dallas Wings players on the show. But next up, we're going to be talking Tony Romo. Yes, I know everybody in the chat room can't wait. I know it. I know Chief Rocket can't wait. I know Jay Fish can't wait. I know you guys have been waiting on this moment. I know your ears have been salivating to hear what we're going to talk about. But we're going to talk about Tony Romo. We're going to talk about the Rangers. Season just started with Tyler Esparza-Powell. Also, I'm going to give it his thoughts on the NBA MVP. But let's talk about some other things here, some other things going down this week. The NBA logo. I'm seeing all this stuff coming out that the NBA is supposedly going to be changing the logo, or somebody doesn't want, I guess, David, his name not David West, whatever his name is, the guy that's on the NBA logo, he doesn't want to be on there anymore or something. So to me, there can't be a logo change. It's been this way for forever. What other logo would you put on it? I mean, I love Jordan. I love the Jordan logo, but would you put that on the NBA logo? I don't think I would. Would you put the Shaq dunk on the logo? I don't think I would do that either. So I think it's interesting that this Jerry West. Thank you, Vince. Jerry West. Wilkes, you were close. You had John West, but it's Jerry West. But I think definitely if they decide to change it, it's going to be like one of the toughest decisions that you have to make. I would say if you're going to change the logo, just make it have NBA, just spell it out in letters. Don't put a person on it because you can't. To me, you just can't change it to something else. Also, Boogie Cousins this week. Boogie Cousins comes out and says, I never heard of him, but his dad is a legend. And he was talking about Lonzo Ball. He basically said he never heard of Lonzo Ball, but his dad is a legend. That is the funniest comment I've heard this week because his dad is always in the news, always having something to say, always talking out the side of his mouth, saying something stupid. I think he's a great promoter. I think he's a great marketer. I would give the guy Best Marketer of the Year award from last year because he is marketing the hell out of his boys. The Big Baller brand. But he says some of the dumbest stuff I've ever heard in my life at the same time. But I commend him on the way he promotes and the way he markets. But I will say this quote by Boogie is hilarious. And Lonzo Ball, he's correct though. Who is Lonzo Ball? He's a top college athlete. Hasn't made it to the NBA yet. Will be drafted very soon. Will be drafted in the top 5. But what is he going to do when he gets to the NBA? What is he going to do? Is he going to ball out? Is he going to suck? Is he going to be a Kwame Brown? What is he going to be? We don't know. Nobody has a clue because he hasn't played NBA top talent in his whole career. So to me, I think he's going to be a good player. I'm not going to say great because I have not seen him match up against top talent, but I will say I think he's going to be a good player. A-Tone says Lonzo to LA. I think that has a huge possibility of happening. And LA fans, if you want to see LA get back to times of old, I think Lonzo would be a great pickup. The only problem is you're going to have D'Angelo and you're going to have Lonzo. Both of them can't play point at the same time. One of them's got to play the two. Who's that going to be? Which one is it going to be? And to me, that's kind of a tough decision to make. Or if you want to play all small, you play both of them, and then from there, I don't know if Brandon Ingram may be starting, Clarkston, Julius Randle. So how's he going to fit? And does the organization want the great LeVar Ball on the sideline every single game, talking? He's probably going to be his agent. Do the Lakers want to deal with that? And to me, that's the biggest thing. I don't know. If I was a GM, I would want to deal with that. I would tell him to go home, watch from the couch, or if you want to watch in the press box, that's cool too. But stay away from the sideline because we don't have room for you to come out and just say all kind of outlandish, random stuff. So it's a tough decision to make. If I was a GM, it's a tough decision to make because you have a great talent in Lonzo Ball. You have an amazing talent, but there's a flip side to everything, and you have to deal with his dad. Unless he somehow miraculously stops talking and doesn't have anything else to say, which I don't think that's going to happen. Also, there's a report that came out that players don't like Steph Curry. There's actually a book coming out, I think it's from a Warriors writer, saying LeBron James, Russ, also Chris Paul have a disdain towards Steph Curry because he didn't have to. Some of the comments they were saying is that he didn't have to work, or he didn't have to grind to get to where he was because his dad was already in the NBA. But Steph made a name for himself. Let's all be clear. When he first came in, Nobody was shouting Steph's name. Nobody